Welcome to Just Start, Get Visible, your go-to resource of the journey to becoming more visible in a way that feels right for you.
Sarah.
Jacqueline.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
Oh, so it's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
I mean, you were literally within the first 25 podcast episodes ever.
And what are we today? What is our number?
249.
Oh, everyone, I'm honored.
249.
Wow.
Our very next episode is 250.
Congratulations.
Why, thank you. And congratulations for you making it back to the podcast.
Oh, why, thank you.
We've changed some things, as the audience probably sees if you're watching us, because back in your inaugural day, we were audio only. Remember, like we only talked via audio. So one of the things that I'm actually quite thrilled about today is to reflect a little bit on your evolution since back then, 5-ish years ago. Like, it's been a long time. And now we've been friends and connected for a long time now as well, which I look forward to exploring that. We're going to get into all the things you do and the impact that you make. But the one thing I will say in starting out is the experience and journey that I've had with coaching. And we'll talk about that a little bit more because that's the world that you live in.
Yep.
And how I didn't understand the impact of coaching probably until my AARP days, which is technically how we crossed paths.
Yeah.
We crossed paths when I was an employee there first.
Yep.
And I remember my older cousin had an executive coach. And I was trying to decide if I was going to take the job at AARP or not. And I was going back and forth with him. And I was like, hey, I don't know, what should I do? What should I not do? He was like, well, I have this executive coach and I'm willing to pretty much gift you one of my sessions. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, what? Like, you pay this guy.
And I'm over here like, what a gift.
Listen, you know, he paid my cousin who we were raised in the same household.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, you pay this guy all this money to give you advice? Like, this is, I didn't quite understand it. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned that is a mantra that I live by today is this dialogue that I have with this coach. I was going back and forth with him lamenting, should I take this job? Shouldn't I? Should I take this job? And he's like, it sounds like you should make a decision. And if you don't like the decision, maybe you could consider making another decision. And I was like, oh, now I see, right? And so I understand the value of a coach, a good coach. But it makes me think about really the first question I want to talk about with you today, Sarah. And it's the space that you're in as it relates to being a secret weapon, okay? Because even as we've been friends, I've learned so much from you. I deeply respect your approach to coaching at Completely Coaching, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But when we think about the fact that you're a secret weapon that, most people don't even know about, right? That's why I'm so happy to be able to refer people to you and recommend you, because I'm like, Sarah's sort of kind of a secret weapon out here. It really makes me understand, or make me want to understand a little bit more about why, right? Like, you could be doing anything. You're smart, you are strategic, but Sarah, is this what you thought you'd be doing? I don't know, I took a long lead up there,
I like it.
But I needed to take you on the journey.
I was on that journey with you.
Right.
So yes and no. So if you asked little girl me what I wanted to be when I grew up, right? No, absolutely not. If you asked post-grad me, a lot of what I'm doing now is connected to why I thought I was doing what I thought I wanted to do when I was going through my academic journey into professional world. If you asked the me 5 to 10 years into working, I am where I wanted to be. Does it look exactly the way I would have planned it? Not a chance.
Doesn't ever look exactly that way.
Right. Like best laid plans and all of that, right? Yeah. But so when I set out in my career, and I'm a career coach, so I help individuals and groups figure out where they want to get professionally and how to get there, and I help organizations to identify and align around a goal. So I'm very, very outcome oriented. Let's figure out what we want and let's make a path to get there, right? And so what has constantly been important to me is that I serve people who would like my service and my support as primary, always. I'm the daughter of educators who are a psychologist and an attorney by trade, but who taught those traits to other people. And so very like, how are we going to get to the thing, right? So first was serving people, and then was working with people who I really enjoyed and who were really intelligent and who I could be challenged by and who I could challenge. And then if I'm being really honest, the third piece was living a lifestyle that I have so privilegedly grown up around having the privilege to really be able to experience such a beautiful life, and I wanted to be able to afford that lifestyle as well. And so coaching has covered all of that, right? When I was growing up, I thought that I was going to be a lawyer.
Why did you think you're going to be a lawyer?
So I mentioned my dad's a lawyer, my mom's a psychologist. My dad and I talked every night at the dinner table about what he did at work that day, and both my parents are educators at their heart. My dad was the dean of a law school and a law professor. My mom was a college psychology professor and child psychologist. I just had really fun conversations with my dad growing up, and I thought what he did was really cool, and I could really see that he was genuinely helping people and institutions. And so that was my little world growing up, and I just thought it was really cool, and I wanted to be like my dad.
Yeah. I think the undercurrent that I'm sure you have connected in you being analytical and thinking things through and being such an intentional person, from my observations, is the word serve that you just used, and how you use that in explaining your work in coaching. Furthermore, how you also, if you think about being an attorney and a litigator, right, and how there's this deep piece of serving, right, that is an opportunity as well, right? Why is serving important to you? But more importantly, like, why that word of all the words?
What a great question. No one's asked me before, so let me think about putting it into words. So why serving? I think that we all are put on this earth with our own self-determined charge, or charge that we think comes from external power, right? Like depending on your personal, philosophical, religious, spiritual beliefs. And as a career coach, I have a really special window into having conversations with hundreds of people about, and honestly, thousands of people over the last 15 years, about where they want to go and what they want to do and what they want to be remembered for. And to me, when we are working in service of someone or something, and we lose track of time, we forget that we're working, that's our sort of special secret sauce. And to me, the serving where I'm in my best flow is helping people to have the tools and resources, helping people to discover and identify the tools and resources that they need to get to where they want to be. So I don't know if that fully answers your question around why serving. I also think like serving other people is sort of the best way to spend our time. Like, you know, the park ranger saying like, leave the park better than when you arrived, sort of thing. So I think that all kind of philosophically fits together.
It actually answers my question and more, because as you were answering, I was thinking to myself, you know what? When I am doing my work, the work that I love, it truly, I always say that I'm in service of people that we teach leadership and etiquette to. I say that if you're 7, if you're 77, if you are there, I am there to serve you and neutralize whatever else I got going on to serve you. And I do lose track of time. I don't ever look at the time when I'm teaching anybody either of those subjects and thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm so over this. I'm always like, oh no, like I'm about to be out of time, no matter how great our time is. So that completely makes sense to me. I'm curious about entrepreneurship for you though.
Yeah.
Because there are internal coaches. There are coaches within organizations. You very intentionally, smartly, however you want to look at it, have chose entrepreneurship to allow your craft to come to life.
Yeah.
And I really want to know, where did your love, your interest, and your commitment more so to being an entrepreneur, like where did that start? Because you and I both know it's a flat out commitment, right? It's not a fun little game all the time.
It's a journey out here.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
So where did that come from for you? How did you even know it was an option?
That's a really great question. So, you know, I keep mentioning my parents. I come from a very sort of like traditional background. In terms of my parents both had very specific professions. So it was not there. The first time that they gave me this, I'll say, they gave me this really great foundation. My mom, when I was little growing up, would say if I wanted something, and again, I come from a very privileged background, a very privileged home, so I want to acknowledge that. And my mom was trained professionally in how to teach children. She was a child psychologist. She would help me to figure out what I wanted by saying, if you can talk about what you want and you can explain it to me, I am going to be able to help you, right? So from a really little baby age, I was conditioned to kind of think through why in a way that ultimately I think has really been a gift for me. And I curse in some other ways, according to my therapist. But that's a whole other conversation for a martini, not a cup of tea. But
we can switch over.
Okay, right. Okay, that's for the second take. So when I was in college, I was. We were just joking. I was in the cheerleading squad. I was a tour guide. I was head of recruitment for my sorority, and then president of my sorority. To no one's surprise, who knows me. But I was giving a tour of my college, and something I really have always loved to do is bring people into something that I really care about and that really matters to me. And I have no idea who the student is. I have no idea who this guy is, but he hands me his business card at the end of the tour and he says, "You could sell your way out of a paper bag. Call me when you graduate." And I was like, huh?
And first of all, what am I doing inside of this paper bag? I don't want
Right? Like, how did I get in a paper bag? I don't think I want to be there. What?
I don't want it.
I didn't understand what that meant. So then fast forward, I ended up in a career of recruiting where I'm talking to individuals about their livelihood and making a switch from a secured, typically salaried, benefited, tenured role into something brand new, right? And then I'm talking to hiring institutions, big organizations, about why this person or this person versus this person. So all of what I was doing was a sale in some way of like helping folks to understand the benefits and detriments to the actions that they were taking. So I think that stacked on top of the talk about what you need and why from my mom and my parents' parenting philosophy. And then I had some really close friends who came from entrepreneurial households. And I watched those families evolve, and I watched, oh, you can start your own? Like, how do you do that, right? And because I had been in this recruiting capacity where I was not straight salaried, right? So a lot of the work that I did involve commission. And so I am not afraid, like the highest salary I have ever had, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about
You can talk about what you want to talk about.
The most amount of salary I have ever had is $35,000 a year.
U.S. dollars.
U.S. dollars.
Okay.
Yeah. Ever in my entire life. The year I made the most amount of money, my salary was $13,000 a year. And so for me, I have this, I'm not afraid to bet on myself because I haven't ever really known any different.
Yeah, it's the eat what you kill model. I know that's not the greatest analogy, but it's truly what it is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I have this theory / theory is the word I'll go with. That I think that a lot of us would be a bit more ambitious, and even our confidence increased if we had some period in our life where we were forced into sales. Because I can't imagine the skill sets that you acquire as a result of selling. You rejection, getting to know people, being influential, all these skill sets that you pick up as a result of that. It really makes me curious about connecting the dots. If we can go there for just a second. On the Just Start podcast and on the platform overall, we are constantly in service of helping people connect the dots between their past and their corporate experience. Because there are so many skills that you acquire in your corporate job that are applicable if you start to be an entrepreneur or just want to start something overall. And sometimes we want to throw that stuff out the door, right? Like even if we think about those days of annual planning in our corporate job, it's like, yo, you and I have talked about annual planning and how we get ahead of it from an entrepreneurship standpoint. And so it does make me want to ask you about unexpected skills. Like, what are the unexpected skills that in your corporate world that served you well, so much so that it now is able to be incorporated into your entrepreneurial ventures?
So the really bedrock is the betting on myself and not having a fear of being the person responsible for my own income. And I see most times that is when I'm coaching individuals who are looking to start either a side hustle or their own business, that fear is what I have seen the most paralyzing fear. And so to your point, the sales experience overall, I had a absolutely phenomenal leader when I was in my corporate world for my longest amount of time. Shout out to Bernadette. And
hey, Bernadette.
Hey, BBG. Hey. And she taught me the importance of attention to details. And I thought I knew a lot when I graduated from my Division III liberal arts school with my liberal arts degree in political science.
Okay, out here.
Right. And we did use the voice. So I thought I knew how to write well professionally. I did not know how to write concisely professionally. I did not know how to communicate clearly, quickly, with an outcome in mind. And she really taught me how to do that in addition to sell. So that was really important. And so there's a level of quality that came from, well, your name is actually not on the door. It's someone else's name. And you actually earn your income when you do a good job for that larger entity. And so that attention to detail was also, if I really think about it, crucial in my ability to juggle all the different pieces of entrepreneurship and running a business that has a team now.
You know what, that instance, particularly the feedback that you received about how you thought you were producing and how you were given feedback about no, there's a way to get better. It does make me want to just stick there with feedback just for a second.
Sure.
Because in the entrepreneurship space, in the Just Start space, whether you're somebody, you have a job and you're deciding to start something off the side of your desk, whatever it is, at some point you're going to run into an instance where somebody needs to give you feedback. And it's interesting when you are the owner of a business, because it's like you almost have to be really intentional about it, or else you'll just keep going thinking that you're doing a good job and nobody's telling you because your name is on the door, right?
Yeah.
How do you move in this space in seeking out meaningful feedback that's going to help you continually level up? Like, what's your go-to here?
Yes, I am so grateful you just asked this question.
Because I just thought of it.
Yeah, it's a good one. So I had a really great business consultant. We've actually shared the same business consultant. Shout out to Gabe. And when we were designing the processes of my business, because I was a solopreneur when I started, I had to have some way to assess, how am I doing for you? And so I came up with a process I do with most of my clients: a midpoint review check-in and an end of coaching package check-in. I do assessments, feedback forms after every single workshop that I run without fail. Anytime I'm starting a new service, I interview my ideal users. So I make it is part of my process of providing a service, is that by the time the service is done, we wrote down what were your goals ahead of time. We agreed on what those goals were. We did a midpoint check-in to make sure we were progressing towards those goals in the fashion that the business or the individual wanted. And then we're going to assess at the end, how did we do? So for me, it's a constant, it's just part of my process.
Yeah,
if
built
that makes
in.
sense.
It completely makes sense.
Yeah, completely.
And completely coaching, which we'll talk about for real in just a second. It's smart because you could wait until the end and just say, hey, like, what do you think? And they could have forgotten most of the stuff, or some of the gold that you could have utilized in the beginning, they don't even know anything about it anymore because now it's in the end. So I think it's actually really smart. But let's talk about Completely Coaching, which is the name of your business overall. Of course, you're the founder and CEO overall. And, you know, I've learned throughout our friendship, throughout referrals, throughout just our overall relationship together, that you have a specific focus on career and life coaching, right? And while I do understand that you do absolutely love what you do, right? And you consistently aim to add value to the people that you serve overall. Let's talk about the other side of this in terms of what you don't love about the work that you do. All right, so this is the stuff that never makes it into the bio. This is the stuff that nobody's ever going to talk about, y'all, okay? But it's important that if we're going to be here giving this platform or encouraging people to start the things that they want to do, we have to be transparent in the stuff that people like you don't like.
Yes.
So tell me, what don't you love, Sarah?
Yeah, okay. You know my answer because I was complaining to you about it via email earlier this last week. I don't love bookkeeping. I don't love taxes. I don't love accounting. I don't love the administration and mathing of money. And
the mathing.
It's just not, I'm a happy taxpayer in this country, right? Like, don't get me wrong there. And I'm so thrilled to have the privilege to be able to have to pay the taxes that I need to pay. I really hate getting all of that stuff put together and organized, and like just all of the like administrative piece, like business insurance. Yeah. Like making sure my EIN is correct everywhere all the time. Like the
W-9. Gotta update that sucker all the time. You gotta get started. All the things.
Such a mess. Yes. And the should I? Oh my God. I'm like,
say it.
Okay.
Say it, Sarah.
So the when you and I first met, my business was an LLC. And my business was an LLC because I got advice from someone on a different coast of this country about how to set up my business entity. And I'm going to try and keep my hands still and not put them on my face or my hand while I tell you this, or my head while I tell you this story, because it literally makes me so wildly frustrated. I just sort of said sure to the first person who said they would prepare my taxes. And don't ever do that. Okay. Always interview at least 3 people for a service provider like that. And the person screwed up my taxes so badly that I owed, like, I forget if it was $13,000 or $17,000 in back taxes, and I paid 4 times the amount of taxes the first 3 years that I was in business than I have the last 3 years I've been in business. Shout out to Elizabeth, my current accountant. We love her. But like, I could literally own another property with the amount of taxes that I paid when I started my business if I had just selected my business entity properly.
$13,000. That was that salary. That was.
Oh, I didn't even think about it like that. Dang, you're right.
You paid your whole prior salary.
My whole pitiful little salary.
It's not pitiful.
No.
It's not pitiful. Because that was base without commission.
That was the most amount of money I ever made that year.
That's without commission, baby.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So yeah, it's that part.
Okay, the back end administrative piece of it. However, let's not totally scare the people here.
No.
Because how do you get past that? Because it's
Yes.
not, because you didn't say, well, Jacqueline, I used to hate it and now I love it. It's still, no, I don't like it.
No,
but you're
I
still
don't.
doing it.
Oh, 100%. I'm doing it.
So what are you doing?
Yes. So what I have done is I got the right people around me. And I got the right people around me by first getting a really great business consultant so that I understood, who coached me on like, these are the things you need in order to function as a legal entity in the District of Columbia. And like, these are the options. And so then I interviewed people. And so I ended up with a fantastic accountant, a fantastic financial advisor. I've got a virtual assistant who helps me with all things administrative now. We're going to talk about the marketing support that I'm bringing in that I didn't even tell you about yet because I wanted to see how excited you were on the podcast.
I'm excited.
Like, so what I've done is I've gotten very clear ahead of time about what I needed and what it looked like for this work to be done to the level of detail and clarity and perfection that I expect from my business. And I then found partners who moved in that way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because these things that we hate, don't like to do, it just is, but that doesn't mean that you can't start the things that you want to do, right? It doesn't mean you aren't going to bump your head and make some mistakes. What seemingly is a lot of money in mistakes, however,
I mean,
that mistake occurred,
yeah.
not so that you can be who you are now, but you won't make that mistake again.
Absolutely
hopefully,
not.
right?
Absolutely not. And I've coached multiple clients on what not to do because of that experience that I've had.
So you've made money because of that mistake.
100%.
And you've helped other people to not make that mistake.
100%.
Because of your mistake. Yeah,
100%.
Super fair.
And I would not have launched the business even if I knew that those errors, like if it was like, Sarah, you can launch your business or you can not launch your business, but then you won't have committed those errors. I'm launching the business every time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to make note of a word that you've used several times. You have used the word privilege several times, right? And I have a hunch in why you are so forward with saying like, yo, to be clear, I have privilege. But why do you feel compelled to make that clear? Like, yo, I get it. What I'm saying might feel, I don't want to say out of touch, but I just want to make it clear. Like, I know that my childhood, maybe my life is rooted in privilege. Why do you feel, I don't want to say always, but why do you feel compelled to be like straight up about that?
My short answer is because it would be messed up not to.
Yeah.
My longer answer is I have the opportunity to work with a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. And I see, because I will never experience second, right? Like as a white upper middle class college educated woman who worked and earned and saved enough money and also had some inheritance from grandparents to, start a business and purchase a home, right? Like I come from a place of that privilege. And I think that if we can just acknowledge and recognize that we all have our different, and that is not to say that my life has been easy. That is not to say that everything is perfect and I walk in the park and we could talk about all my baggage now or later. But it's not that. It's that I recognize and I understand that we all come with a different, it's like if we were all running a race. Right? And you know where I'm going with this analogy, right?
Heck of a head start, baby.
Right. Like I have a head start. And I have a head start. My father was 45 and a managing partner of one of the biggest law firms in the country when I was born. I had an adult father.
Yeah.
My brother, who's my half brother, was 23. My dad was 23, 24 when my dad was born, or when my brother was born, and my dad was a teacher. That's two different people and two different lives in my family.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's something that I'm appreciative of, and I think it's important to acknowledge because not everyone gets that opportunity, and and everyone has some level of leg up or privilege or special sauce something, and so I think it's important to acknowledge and recognize and talk about.
Yeah, it's a few things there. Number one is it does make me think about my friend Amber Cabral. I'm pretty sure I've introduced you to her work before. her last podcast was all rooted in privilege. I was a guest on her podcast, and it was phenomenal, right? And I observed that about you many years ago. Like literally in the signature line, you had a video to a woman who was talking about a lot of inequities and injustice. And I was like, oh man, I was like, oh goodness, that is very forward. Like literally in your business signature line is like, look, what are we doing out here? Like, why are we not advocating in ways that we need to? And I've always recognized that about you and appreciate it. Like your forwardness about it. And I think too, what's interesting is I think sometimes when people hear the word privilege or feel hesitant to use the word privilege, everybody has something, right? I have the fact that I am able to eloquently speak and make people feel some kind of way with my words. Yeah. Right. I know that is a privilege that I have had since the 4th grade because my 4th grade teacher poured into me in ways some people don't have that privilege. Yep. We don't have children, so our life is a bit more flexible. So we have the privilege of a little bit more time freedom. Yes. We all got something, right? And it's not a bad thing to have privilege, but it is important.
It's a thing.
It's right. It's just a fact. Yep. I do not want to say these 2 words, but I have to say these 2 words because it's where we're at in the world. Oh. And those 2 words are social media.
Oh, okay.
Those 2 words.
Okay.
Okay. I've made a bit of an observation about you over the past couple of years. And it is the observation of surgical visibility, if you will.
Such a kindness you're extending me.
I mean, okay. Well, my observation.
You can be real. You be real with the people.
I don't be seeing you on social. And I'm not like belittling that or downplaying that. To be honest with you, it's overwhelming. Like social is an overwhelming place. Yep. You know, from algorithm to perfect wall to show your mess. You know, it's all the things, right? But in my opinion, just knowing who you are, I have taken it a little bit more as a surgical approach, right? Yes. I think you have a surgical approach to social media.
Why, thank you.
I feel like you're only there when you need or you want to be there. Yep. Which you and I know as an entrepreneur sometimes is required. And if you want to reap the benefits of the people who are online that could possibly benefit from your service, right? Yep. And so it just makes me wonder about how are you maneuvering your social media space right now? Yep. Are you there and you just block me? Is that what's happening? Or like...
Can you imagine?
I know! That would be crazy! Actually, I'm about to check. I'm gonna message you from Troy's account.
Can you imagine? You're like, what?
Wow, that's crazy!
She's all these years. Wow. No. Okay, so a couple things. Yep. So there's... to me, there's traditional social media, which is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever the kids are doing, ripping and running out in the streets of... I was going to work it in. You knew I was going to.
We have to talk about ripping and running.
Do we take a side quest?
Let's do it now. Okay. So, how do we even start this? Okay. Sarah and I have noticed that there are different terms that culturally we use to express different things, right? Yep. And when I was growing up, it was if the kids were running in and out of the house. Yep. Right. It was don't be ripping and running in and out of my house. Don't be doing that. Don't be slamming the door.
It's hooting and hollering in my house where I'm from. Don't be hooting and hollering, Jacqueline.
Have y'all heard of this? Y'all heard of this before?
The white people have.
Have you? Well, I don't know if the blacks have heard about hooting and hollering in that context.
Hooting and hollering.
Wait, but had you heard about ripping and running?
No. Do you remember when this all came up when we were doing that? You were so awesome. You brought in like 6 of your entrepreneurial girlfriends. We did a planning workshop.
Yes.
And someone said ripping and running.
Erica Boone. It was Erica, earring maker.
Shout out to Erica and her amazing earrings. And actually, really, okay, sorry. Hi, Erica. And I was like, I'm sorry. What? I think I was the lone white girl in the room.
Oh, you were.
As well.
You were, yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry.
What do we mean by this ripping and running?
My privilege did not afford me this privilege to be in this joke. Could I please know what is going on?
And you were like, oh, you guys talk about hooting and hollering.
Oh, like hooting and hollering.
No, we're not talking about hooting and hollering, actually. Well, you are. You
You are.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
May we
Side
get back on
quest
track?
and back. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I'm gonna just take a sip of my tea.
Do it because the hooting and hollering has made your throat dry out, and now we need to rip and run back into this conversation.
Take me back.
Okay.
Okay. We were on social media.
We were.
And my surgical precision.
Yes.
As you so kindly put it. So I think we were talking about the difference between social media and professional social media of LinkedIn.
Yes. Yes.
So to me, never have I ever had a problem with LinkedIn. Ever. Like, I'm posting on LinkedIn typically once a week. I'm writing something, sharing something, doing something. Happy to be out there, right? Yeah. Professional setting. To me, social media of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever your flavor is, whatever decade you're listening to this podcast in, is it's more for me that I have used it as a personal way to inform myself, connect with friends and loved ones, and sort of leave it at that. And so I think what you mean when you talk about me being very intentional around my social media is typically you will see me on social media for one of two things these days, if we're talking my personal social media, not LinkedIn. Which is that you will see my face on Instagram when I'm talking about the atrocities of ICE and this administration. And that to me is, I mean, I live in a neighborhood in Washington, D.C. where ICE literally is like terrorizing my neighbors and like ripping people literally out of their homes and off the street. Yeah. And that's not okay with me. So I'm going to talk about that. Yeah. And so that's the first place that I will show up. And then the second place that I'll show up is when I immediately have something to offer to folks who I'm connected to or who it would show up in their feed of like, hey, I've got an event, come on over and join us. Yeah. And so that has been sort of traditionally how I have like handled my social media. That as of the last couple months has been evolving for me. The way I got to handling it this way was I have a sales background, I have an entrepreneurial background, I have an email listserv, I have had the tools that I have needed to build my business to the place that it is now. And I've got several folks who are working for me on a contracted and consulting basis. We are growing, we are expanding. And as part of that growth and as part of that expansion, I recognize I'm going to need to do something differently. And a really great friend of mine who has a phenomenal podcast called Just Start.
Oh my God.
Gave this
could this be?
amazing podcast where she was talking about just like starting and giving yourself permission to do it messy.
Wow, what? Who is she?
Oh my gosh, she's so cool. You really like her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, totally cool. But so I've been exploring what it would look like for me to have more of a social media presence. So I've interviewed several folks. I'm really excited about one person who I've been talking with who we seem to really align on personal philosophies, professional philosophies, strategies of what we're doing. And she said something that when she said it to me, there were two people who I immediately thought of, my friend who connected us and then you. And she said, well, I can run Instagram ads for you, but then if somebody clicks on your account and sees that like you haven't posted in 3 calendar years, they're probably not gonna buy from you.
They're gonna think you're fake news.
You're a scam.
You're a scammy. It's giving scam.
It's giving scam. So, and I really took that to heart. And I asked her a bit about what that would look like. Is this my personal account? Is this my professional account? Because you and I have had some one-on-one conversations like about I'm a pretty private person. I'm very outgoing. I'm very friendly. I'm like, we can chat at a bar and we'll be best friends even if I've never met you before. But I'm not a like, this is my life kind of person.
Waking up, get ready with me.
Like
you're not doing
I'm
that.
I'm not that. Let me eat my words like 3 years from now and be like, hey guys, so I'm live streaming from Jacqueline's basement.
Look at me. This is my skincare routine.
Right. Oh my gosh. I could only ever be so lucky. So I was talking with her about, like that's not my energy. And she was able to educate me, right? So part of this was just capacity as an entrepreneur. Part of it was, it wasn't something I had interest in. It wasn't something I wanted to develop a skill set in. And I had told myself because of that, it wasn't something I needed. And I'm now getting to the place where I'm starting and launching some really awesome and exciting programs that to the point of service. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to serve as many people if I'm not publicizing what I'm saying, even if I got to do it messy, which really is not my favorite thing to do. But my friend Jacqueline M. Baker said I had to do it that way on Just Start, or I could do it that way on Just Start, and it would be okay.
Yeah.
So
it actually makes me think about a bit of the focus of our conversation today. I know that we've been everywhere because we haven't caught up in this capacity in a while.
Yeah.
And it's just so much nuggets in everything that we talk about. It's this overthinking piece, right? I honestly recall us having a conversation about group coaching in your life 3-4 years ago. I mean, we literally have some old school outlines and things and that nature. Now that you are in launch mode, now that you've made some things very public of, hey, this is how you join, this is how you get on board with this is how you benefit, how much of this process do you think you have been overthinking? Of course, there's still stuff to figure out. But now that you're in it, do you feel like I have been overthinking a bit, or are you like, no, this was worth me overthinking about?
So to me, I don't know if overthinking is quite the way I would describe it, as almost like blocking myself. So it would be like if you're overthinking how to drive a car, you're like, oh my God, I make sure, like, is my seatbelt and like, are my mirrors? I wasn't there. I was like at a roadblock and I was like, oh, well, I could throw the car in reverse and go around it, or I could just like barrel through, right? But I was just like, I'm stuck. So I'm literally not even going to think about it. And so, there are lots of different ways that this analysis paralysis prevents. And for me, I'm not particularly an overthinker. I don't think. I mean, you're my friend, so you tell me.
I don't think you're an overthinker.
But if there's not a real clear, not a real clear path on how to get there, I'll just sort of be like, I'm going to deal with that a little bit later.
Okay.
And so what changed for me, particularly, I am at the end of this month launching a group accountability and group weekly planning cohort. And instead of having to have it all figured out and mapped out in my brain with a roadblock, like there was the roadblock of I can't see the whole thing, I just started.
Yeah.
And I was more methodical about, let me just think about the phases and what do I need to do next in this next phase, and then I'll figure out the phase after that. As opposed to, I need to have the whole picture figured out. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Okay. As you were talking, I was thinking about a recent episode that we recorded where I was giving some advice around the next week, the next 30 days, the next 60 days.
Yeah.
Because I know, and you know, that we are rooted in Just Start. Like literally these trademarks are up on the wall and Just Start in 2 categories. Like we live this.
Yeah.
There are so many times that you and I have been like, oh, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? Like it's not a problem for us to iterate.
Yes.
But that too is privilege.
Yes.
Right? And that we have the ability to think past something, if not for the moment, eventually.
Yeah.
But for some people, many people that are in our Just Start audience, you need a little bit more support, right? You need okay, what about a week or what about 30 days? And not to think about, what do I need to be doing in 6 years? No. What do you need to be doing in the next week to get you to the next 30 and the next 60? Because honestly, whatever comes out of the next 60 days will change whatever you thought was going to happen in 6 years anyway. Like planning out that far probably don't even make any sense. So I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I do love that.
Thank you.
So tell me, with this group coaching business, which, technically goes into our what's next question.
Yeah.
what brings you joy about the fact that this group coaching thing is really out in the ether now? It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Like, how you feeling about it?
I feel two ways. I feel I'm really excited about it, and proud of myself that I'm doing it finally. And the orientation for the planning and accountability group coaching cohort is 2 Fridays from now. And so I also feel a little bit like, is anybody going to come to my party? You know what I mean? Like,
I'll come to your party.
Please do.
I'll come.
Please do. So I'm
only if there's punch and pie.
Done.
If there's no punch and no pie, I'm out.
Okay, I'll Uber Eats some to your house because we're gonna be meeting virtually.
Okay.
Good. Done.
Okay.
Great. But yeah, so I feel excited, and I feel bizarrely prepared. Like, I keep having this conversation with my virtual assistant and with ChatGPT and with my operations person and with my best friend, being like, something has to be harder than this, right?
Something must be wrong.
I must have forgotten something. But no, we're totally ready to go. All the emails are automated. Everything's figured out. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
So, but that is also a little like, you know, when you're the expert party planner, like, you're probably, the house is like ready to go, and like you're dressed and like everything is done, and then you're like, oh, I could actually sit down and like have a beverage before everybody shows up.
Because you plan for that. I'll say this, like, I don't get surprised about that. Yes, I do like to host and have people over and all the things, but it's because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I bake in the time to have downtime before people get here. I bake in the time to actually get ready.
Yeah.
And I think that's perhaps a part of what you're feeling right now. Like, you've baked in the time to prepare and plan for this, and so you're ready.
Yeah.
Like, you're ready for your folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I am really curious about your commitment to staying connected. I always make space and time to ask this question to people that sit in the chair, because networking can feel heavy and hairy and a lot. I think especially for people right now where they're navigating emotions and commitment and all the things. And so it does make me wonder how you stay connected, how you stay in community. What is your go-to to ensure that you maintain community and continue connecting with people, even considering your committed schedule? Like, what do you do? And I think more importantly, before we get there, I think it's only fair that I ask you to give me a grade, right? Because I've asked everybody else who's sitting in this chair to give me a grade.
Totally.
If you really think about networking, showing up, how would you grade yourself these days?
Well, because I did my homework and I prepped for this, I wrote my grades down for my in network and my out of network. So
you're not a health insurance provider.
But I could be if
out
I
of
wanted to be.
network.
No, but
$50 out of pocket.
So for people who are part of my circle, right? Like, we have become dear friends. I would give myself a B+ on that. And I think a lot of that comes from, you know, I mentioned my family. My brother was in college when I was born, and so I really grew up an only child.
Yeah.
And so I have constantly, if I wanted to see somebody, everybody else had siblings. And so I was like, hey, do you want to hang out? Right? Like, so I've just sort of grown up with the like, hey, thinking about you vibes.
Yeah.
And so I think I am very intentional about, and you know, I had a coach a while ago, I mean like 10 years ago, who I think I was struggling. I was just new to DC. No, it must have been even longer ago than that, because I was just new to DC. So it must have been 15 years ago. And I was feeling disconnected. And the person told me to write down all the people who I wanted to stay in touch with. Because the story I was telling myself was, I don't have anyone to stay in touch with. And so the exercise was like, girl, do you really not have anyone to stay in touch with? Like, write it down and let's try again. Come back to me next week. And so I wrote it down, and that has really provided me with a pretty consistent framework for like, who are my people and who I really care to stay in touch with. And it's a phone call, it's a text message, it's a voice note, those are typically the ways that I'm keeping in touch with my in-network.
Yeah.
So then folks who I'm not immediately connected with, I would give myself really like a C, not a C plus, not a C minus, just a solid C. I am not nervous about or uncomfortable reaching out to a random person, random stranger. Met a guy at a coffee shop because I was reading a personal development book and he was reading a personal development book, and we talked about our group coaching programs, and we've both launched our group coaching program since then, right? So like I am all about the like meet a random stranger, and like I'm not afraid of that particularly. I am not a like, let me get out on these streets and go to a networking event kind of girly. And I think that was my past career.
Yeah.
Like I was at an event a week, like just like, hey, I'm Sarah, I'm a recruiter. Hey, I'm Sarah, right? And so I have done that, and I really didn't dislike it. I think it just honestly, the landscape shifted for me during COVID, and I built my business without the ability to do that because everything was shut down. And so it was super integral to my corporate days. And then I couldn't during COVID. And so like low-key kind of forgot that was a thing that maybe I might be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that we are in an age of having options with how we connect and network with people versus, okay, here are these business cards. Here, here's what, you can choose. There's more online forums. There are just options. And so this answer is so important. This question is so important because our community is trying to connect usually to figure out how they get the confidence, the community to start the things that they want to do. And if you don't have some type of approach, or they don't have a catalog of options from people that we ask that to, especially if you are truly a stone cold for real introvert and you're just like, look, I don't even know where to start. This is just not what I do. This question, I think for people like us who tend to be a little bit more visible intentionally might be easy, but it's really important for me to ask this question to every guest because I want to make sure that other people have a catalog of answers they can choose from that they can start to try on, Yeah,
something that I work with some folks who identify as a little more introverted around is what does that look like comfortably for them as an individual? And a recent answer that I came up with that a client came up with in our coaching session was volunteering. And that as being and in a space where they were interested in exploring a career. Right? And so
if you want to be a nonprofit, what does it look like for you to volunteer
for a nonprofit, right?
Habitat for Humanity is always looking for somebody.
Exactly. Right? Or here in the DMV, there is a trade association for everything. And so looking at what are the industry events that are going on and how might you offer your time to something like that, right? It's almost like it kind of gives you a pass because you're like doing this in service of something so that you're kind of focused on the task versus focused on the, hi, I'm Sarah Glenn, it's nice to meet you, anxiety.
You're being visible still in that space. You are so correct about there's an industry for everything. A couple weeks ago, I was in Vegas speaking at the National Grocers Association. Which is so fascinating because I didn't even know before I was tapped to do a keynote there that the National Grocers Association was a thing, which is a network of independent grocers. And it truly was a fascinating space. They were very into the leadership training in ways that I was just enamored by it because it's a space that we hadn't been in yet. The other thing that I was thinking of as you were answering your question about staying connected is friendship and how, like, even if you think about just us as friends and our friendship and how it came to be when we were very grown people. And the last person who sat in this chair, Dallas Gordon, she was episode number 245. She and I had the same conversation. We met in the Goldman Sachs program in Baltimore, and how as we grow older, for some of us, we get stuck with acquiring new friends or even being open to new friends, which limits your possibilities, your opportunities, your joy overall. And so what I do very much appreciate about your answer too is it also applies to friendships, right? Being a coffee shop, okay, somebody's trying to have a small conversation with you. Are you really that busy where you can't just say, hey, how you doing? Good. I'm doing great. How are you doing? Yeah. Instead of like, I'm busy. Yeah. You could miss out on a great friendship, a great relationship, a business partner. Yeah. I just think we are so heads down on things. One quick story. I remember last time I went to the grocery store, I was buying some cabbage, which isn't typical for me. And the checkout lady was like, well, what are you making with this cabbage? And I was like, excuse me? And she was like, well, what are you making with the cabbage? And I was like, oh, I looked up this recipe and blah, blah, blah. She was like, oh yeah, I made blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And at first I was thinking like, why is this lady talking to me? But then it was like, you know what? Why not?
Yes.
Like, why should I be, or any of us be so taken aback when anybody sparks some conversation to just be human?
Yeah.
And I do long for, yearn for, look forward to the days when we get back to just being human again. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not going to talk to her for 10 minutes and hold up the grocery line, but I'm going to take a minute and have some dialogue with her, because it could be joyful. I could learn a new recipe, and we're just freaking human.
And there's an element of connection that when we are face in our phone, on our social media, not connected to people, like not just head on the swivel of let me recognize the cashier or literally the person who I met at the coffee shop. His name is Josh. I met his daughter. His wife is fantastic. They're working, I forget what department of the government now, but like we had 3 meetings and helped each other plan out how we were going to start our group coaching businesses. And if I had just been like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Please.
Right? Just a nice guy, curious about the book I was reading. And so, I think to your point, we miss out on a lot of opportunity. You know, I will intentionally, when I'm at the gym, I keep my phone in my pocket and locked, and I'll just say hi to people. And I feel like a weirdo, but
if you see her in the gym, she's just being kind. She's not a weirdo. Well, she's great.
Thank you.
But weirdos are okay.
Yeah, weirdos are okay. Right. But so yeah, I mean, I miss that. I miss that opportunity to connect with folks. And so I think it's you know, as another side quest that we're taking, talk to people in the world. Yes. Right? Like, what else are we here for?
What else are we here for? Like, AI is coming in hot, but we can still be humans.
Humans. Yeah. Exactly.
Can we talk growth?
Please. I
am dying to know about where you feel like your growth has been the most over the past 3 years. And as someone who has been in your life over the past 3 years, who's been able to watch from afar, not so from afar, right? Yeah. I'm very curious about this answer, because we catch up, we, you know, generally know what's going on in each other's lives, but lots of stuff can happen over a short period of time. So where are you most proud of your growth, particularly, I'll say, over the past 3 years?
So, I think generally the thing I am most proud of is how I treat myself and how I talk to myself.
Tell me more about that.
And so I think that feeds into both my career and my business, and also into my physical and my mental health. Okay. Do you have a preference on what I lead with?
No.
Okay. So we'll go.
Sure, growth.
We'll go. Why? Thank you. We'll go physical and mental health first. Okay. So in the starting my business was really hard physically on my body. It was during COVID. I was someone who up to December 2019, I was in the best shape of my entire life. And like I was fit and I felt great, and I had just come off of traveling all over the country and figuring out where I wanted to be in my life, and I felt awesome. And then the entire world shut down, and I started a business out of necessity, and my cortisol levels shot up so high that my doctor was like, whoa, like I can tell you are not okay. I don't even need to ask, are you okay? Because I know that you're not. And so I had to do a lot of recalibrating of my body. And so I am really proud of that. I mean, I have a chiropractor, I have an acupuncturist, I have a therapist, I have a coach, I have an energy healer, I walk my dog, I do the breath work, I do and these are all, I've done parts of all of these things, but I really have a team and a system for how I care for my body now. I have a nutritionist, which I think actually was really the that was the like really fulcrum in making everything else just like click into place.
Yeah.
And so that has been, I'm really proud. Like I feel more like myself, you know, I mean, we've talked about some of my just like not super desire to be like on social media is just like, well, I don't really feel that great. And I don't care to be like, hi, this is me, when I don't feel super confident. And so I do feel like I'm coming more back into myself, which, and a more evolved version of myself.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that is sort of the kindness around my personal side, and that feeds into my professional side, right? So I have now, I'm in my 7th year of running my business, and which is so crazy. Yeah. I'm in my 9th year of coaching full, I think, is that right? I don't even know. But like 8th or 9th year of coaching full time out of the corporate world. So I have spent as much time in the corporate world as I have now as an entrepreneur. And there's I gotta say, like a level of swagger. Yeah. Like I was talking with
I can do this.
Yeah, like I know how to do it, right? Like I watched a video of you at one point teaching young women how to walk with confidence. And it was so sweet. I watched this video of you, and I watched how you walk with confidence because you put in the reps to walk with confidence. And there's just a difference when you're learning. And so I think, you know, feeling more comfortable with me and that really feeding into my business has enabled me to, I mean, I have a fantastic team that I work with now that I am so proud of them. And, you know, the person who's been with me on my team the longest has like, she's so evolved. I'm so proud of her. And so it's like that evolution is part of just like putting the reps in. So some of it is like time and trust. Too.
Yeah.
So
I'm proud of you too.
Thank you, friend.
Because we've had these discussions about, you know, how you feel overall and how that can either elevate or diminish how you want to show up, right? But I'm happy that you have a team around you, right? And a team, and we didn't even talk a lot about the growth of your team overall, but you have, which I think is a true testament of, I didn't even have to ask you, tell me about your team. Like you've talked about them in ways that are meaningful and in ways that looks like you're proud of.
Yeah, definitely.
Can we talk about what's next?
Absolutely.
All right. I know that you are gearing up and expanding in the group coaching space, which I'd love to hear a little bit more about, and I'd love for our audience to hear a little bit more about.
Yeah.
But what else can I look forward to reaching out to hold you accountable for over the next 3 to 6 months?
Okay, so next 3 to 6 months, I am really laser focused. I am really laser focused on continuing to provide outstanding service to my one-on-one clients and my corporate clients who I serve, and I serve consistently and with all the love and care. While I am doing that, because now I have a team built out to support me, you will see me getting more visible on social media.
Note to self.
Don't write that down.
What?
You are that friend too. I'm going to get a text like, hello?
Hey girl. It's me, Jacqueline.
You're going to be on Instagram tagging me.
Right.
Being
hey,
like,
everybody. Just so you know, I'm here to hold people accountable, Sir Glenn.
Right. Exactly. So you'll see that more in terms of projects that my business is launching and that we're launching. This group planning and accountability coaching is something I'm really proud of because it's a way for folks who do not need the intensity of a one-on-one coaching container, or they'd like an additional, they're starting up and they need an additional accountability. But so it's a way to help people consistently show up, right? Because that we know is that's the biggest needle mover, is just be consistent. It doesn't have to be good, just be consistent. Right. So I'm really excited about that coaching container. And then the next group coaching container that I'm launching is a career coaching container that I'm just really excited about because I have seen what my one-on-one coaching that my team and I offer, how that changes people's lives. And I've done this group coaching a little bit with some smaller groups, and it's had really phenomenal results. So this is going to look like folks who maybe don't have the time or the capacity financially to purchase a one-on-one career coaching package, where they can now do this with groups of folks. There are 2 different cohorts. One is figuring out what one wants to do in a next step. The second cohort is how to get there. And third option is you do the whole thing together, right? But so I'm really excited about both of those things, and about sharing more about my business on social media.
Yeah, I'm excited too, because of the timeliness of it all. I mean, you and I meet so many people who are trying to figure out what's next, even stuck with trying to find a career choice, but even more so, not being sure what to apply for, because they're like, but is that really what I want to do? You know, and I think just where we're at in the world right now has forced people to think differently about, is what I've been doing for the past 10 years or whatever, is that really what I want to do? Right? Is that, this is truly what I want my legacy to be overall? And so I just appreciate the timeliness of it all, and the braveness of you to like stay at it, right? To not say, oh, that didn't work 4 years ago, or I couldn't figure that out 6 years ago, so whatever. Like, sometimes it's all about timing.
It really, and I know that I have a system that works. Like I have a framework that I've seen work hundreds of times at this point. So I'm just excited to help more people.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, it has been an absolute treat to have you.
Always, Jacqueline. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what your team over at Completely Coaching continues to do, and you know, how you continue to show up in this world in a way that feels good to you.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome. All right. Well, listen, you've been here again for yet another episode of Just Start Get Visible. It was wonderful to have a conversation with Sarah Glenn. Check out all the things that she's into. You know that we'll leave you some links. So listen, no matter where you're at in the world, I hope that you're safe, I hope that you're healthy, and I hope that you're well. And I certainly hope that you're giving yourself permission to start the things that you want to do. You take care of yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Ciao.